Hello, good evening. Welcome to our fifth Equator College webinar, a design conversation with our very own fashionista. So thank you for joining us this evening. So I hope this session will inspire all of you as before. So with us this evening are Helen Tan, the co-founder of Doublewood, and also our very own alumni of Equator College, and Julie, the head of fashion school at Equator College, and also our alumni. So we have two alumni with us today. So this evening we have, it's an honor to have both of you in this webinar. So can you further introduce yourself to the audience? Maybe we can start with Julie first.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Julie, and I'm alumni of Equator. I started to have the ambition of become a fashion designer since I was very young. I think since I was like standard 3, and it has been always my ambition and goal that is the direction I want to do. So it's something that I'm very firm of. And then after I graduated from secondary school, I enrolled myself into a diploma program. And that time was Equator was there. So that is where I studied my diploma. And then after that, I worked for a few years. I also worked in a sportswear company designing. Also, I work in corporate as well. So the corporate training, that part is quite interesting because it has a little bit more to do with administrative, finance, and things like that. So I worked there about two years as well. And after that, I have an opportunity to further my degree in United Kingdom. So that's where I did my BA honors in fashion and textile design. And then when I graduated, I actually worked in UK for a while also. I started with working as a tutor in my university, which I get an opportunity to teach a foundation program. It's more like assisting. I would say that the teaching there is slightly different. So it's like tutoring. And then later I work with a designer, and we do a lot of like occasional wear. So after that, I came back to Malaysia, I think and started my education career in 1999. So I've been with Equator for a very long time. So it's almost like 2 decades, in this education life. Yeah. And while doing this, also I pursue my own collections I think I started in 2014. I started to do projects. It is important to continue the passion. So I did design for private clients, So that's what I do when I'm not teaching as well. Yeah, that's my brief introduction. Thank you.
Okay, Helen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Joy. Hi, Julie. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. So my name is Helen. I'm one of the co-founder of Doublewood Fashion with my sister, Helen. So Doublewood was born back in the year 2005, purely from the passion for fashion, where we started off the real conventional way. So we started off by just, sourcing and selling fashion. At that time, they have those wholesale markets in KL, Kenanga Market, or in Penang. So we started off by just, taking stocks from the wholesale market to, bringing in pieces which we both love to wear. And then it's like we take one piece and then we sell the rest online. So basically from that, up until today, we have our own label in a dedicated manufacturer overseas, and now we are serving more than 100,000 customers worldwide. So our business is actually really simple. It's born from the pure passion for fashion. Girls, right? We love fashion so much, to wanting to dress women and empowering women to dressing for work, for travels, for bridesmaids pieces, and even everyday wear like what I'm wearing now. as the saying goes, always dress for like it's the best days of your life. And for someone, for us who has really loved fashion, we truly believe that, every woman deserves to wear only the best, and thus our confidence will show. So with this passion in mind, we go about, designing pieces which we look into every seam and every fit of the Asian bodies to empower the women that we dress.
Thank you. Very interesting experience. Right. So, fashion has been regarded as one of the most important essential today. So as no one will leave their home or anywhere without thinking of what to wear, with what is to match with yourself. So how does fashion changes the life of many today?
So
Maybe
we start
with Helen.
first.
Yeah.
So fashion, is a really interesting topic. I think that not only women, but also men as well love fashion. And it actually evolves with time. And when you take a look at fashion today, on the spot, you know what era that we are in. Of course, Julie knows best. You teach fashion, right? So when we look back in the 70s or 80s or even the Victorian times, we can actually pinpoint how does fashion evolves up until today. So it's like if it doesn't reflect the times, it's definitely not fashion, because fashion truly, moves with time. And I think personally, fashion is more like a personal branding for everyone. So it's like a first layer of confidence that we portray to the world the minute we walk out of the house. So when we look back in times, right, last time, women only wear heels, we put powdered makeup, and then suits and tailored pants are only reserved for men. But today, we can see, unisex fashion is the trend today. We see women wearing denims, tailored pants and suits, jumpsuits. And then it's also not weird that we see men putting on makeup or putting on skirts. So we can see that all of these trends and fashion is definitely evolved through times. And I think for fashion brands, it also means constant evolution. So with fashion and style, we can definitely, be who we want to be by putting on the pieces that we want to wear. So basically, fashion truly becomes your identity and empowers whoever that wears it, I think. So I think fashion is definitely an essential today.
Yeah, I totally agree what Helen says. I think for us, it's like basically fashion is like a way to express oneself about their identity, their preferences, what do they want to, how do they want to let people perceive them, like, it's all about like what you mentioned, in your history, you see all the evolutions, and then women also, you're talking about empowerment, we're wearing the power suit and things like that. So I think nowadays, I think people has more freedom and choices to wear what they are comfortable and how they want to show themselves. I think it's lucky that we have our predecessor to evolve all this so that today we all can wear whatever we want. Even a woman can wear pants, and man can actually wear a skirt and put makeups on, and you won't be judged on that. See, so I think we are very lucky, and I think fashion is ever evolving. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, having said so, so this question is to Julie. Uh, since you are teaching, right, fashion, so in fashion education, so how well are the students being prepared for the industry?
Well, I think for the for my career in education, our syllabus has evolved and also improved over the times according to the industrial needs. Okay, I think from the graduates I have 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the things that I'm learning are slightly different comparable to the graduates now. So basically, because our vision is to, more relevant to the industrial needs. So what we are incorporating in our projects or in our syllabus, we design it to align with the needs and the wants of the industry. So basically, they are prepared, and the program is very, the syllabus are very diversified. So it's a journey for the students to explore all these areas so that they can find their strength and what they are more, more interested in, or what they are good in, so that they can set it as their career path. I think that's how we design our program, so that, as like now you see COVID in, digital, so we have digital, so the students can do a lot of using the software, they can do a lot of things. So it's basically evolving, the program is evolving and the program is evolving so that we meet the requirements of the industry. Yeah. So I think they are prepared. Yeah.
That's good to hear. So education and experience is the first step in creating the fashion business ecosystem. So how do you think our existing ecosystem help in preparing them to tap into the businesses? Like, for example, fashion branding and all these things.
To me,
yeah. Anyone?
Oh.
So
Helen, you want to take on this one?
Okay. So to us, to in the boat, right? Basically, it's more special because in the boat, my sister Helen is in charge of design production, and while I run the e-commerce part of the styling and of the business. So, and the strange thing is, both of us did not study fashion. So my sister was studying briefly in law, and myself, I was Equator alumni in design. Previously, before Equator, I was studying briefly in medicine, and then proceeded to Equator in graphics and multimedia, and then subsequently I studied product design in USM. But along the years, right, what we found out that we had in common was we had the passion for fashion. My sister and I, we truly love fashion, because I remember even back when I was studying medicine, I always visit the malls and then I would try on clothes, and then it was truly the love of fashion that I think that's the key, like, which what sustained us that would up until today. We've been, running this business for maybe more than 12 years. And I think, that's what keeps us going and going, even up until now, the pandemic. Fashion is, not really going well. Even all other business is also not going really well now, but we keep on pushing and pushing. And along the way, we learn the tricks of the trade. We love, we love to keep, improving. My sister is never ending in improving the fit of the pieces, and we always on the lookout for trends on the internet and the styles. Be it when we travel, wherever we go, we keep on looking for the fashion that it's popular, which is trendy right now. So yeah, so basically we breathe and eat fashion. So I think that is also essential for students to really love fashion, to be in this line, to be able to survive all the hardship and all the. Of course, there are also, the glamorous part of this fashion business, which everyone loves to be in, but also be prepared for, all the hardships that you have to endure as well. So I think it's important that, you have to have, maybe a taste for fashion, and then this can only be acquired when you are hands-on handling this business, and also, of course, never-ending research as well, I think.
Well, I think maybe I can add a little bit on the ecosystem on the education side. Is like a supply chain, things like that. I think for us could be not just on the design side, but also on the manufacturing side. So the students are trained in technical, which is quite important under supply chain, manufacturing chain. So ecosystem is there. So we need to, the students to be trained on that field, so that you keep the wheel running. If you don't have that, you don't have all the technical sides, the technical skill sets, the system will not work. It will have, it's a very big component, as one of component is very important inside there. So I think the ecosystem is so big. I think that's why I say, when Zhiwei, you give this ecosystem, it's very wide, it goes into all different areas. But I think for us, I think it's more on the supply chain side, and manufacturing side. I think this is the area that we feel that we need to fit into the ecosystem for our program. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think like what Julie said just now. So in fashion education is not just about drawing and sewing and all these things. So a lot of knowledge comes from the school, the colleges, and also the education side as well on the technical side. Sometimes people thought the technical side is how you sew, what kind of fabric you have to look for. But again, towards the business, it's more on how do you manage each of that brand, right? So,
Yeah.
And in business today, in fashion business today, we have this thing called on-demand production and mass production. So which one do you think is best to sustain in the fashion business?
Wants to go first? I think
Maybe you
this.
can start.
You want to start, Helen?
I think you can start first.
I
I'll add
guess.
on.
Okay. I think it's a debate. Actually, I think it boils down to the this customer demand for me. Okay, my point of view. I think during this pandemic, I think there is a movement moving to on demand. But again, mass production, unless I find is unless that we have how to say, I will use the word educate. Consumer to be a little bit more responsible in their buying behavior. Then we can move into more like sustainable fashion. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think is very diversified. There's just different ways. So at this moment, cannot really say which one is better. I think it boils down to the demand. And also, if let's say you want to do on demand, and to be sustainable, I think there's a lot of investment into business also. It's not just, okay, let's do it, on demand. Then, it will involve the supply chains, like the textile company or the manufacturer. Are they willing to, just do small quantity, and if it's small quantity, then probably the cost is higher. And, if the cost is higher, let's say like Helen, your thing is produced with a higher cost, is the customer able to actually buy with that kind of price range? So for me, it's more coming back to customer demand and which are the area that a brand or a company want to target on. Of course, hopefully we can move to, a more sustainable fashion, because this is a topic of fashion, how to be sustainable.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's my take on this topic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're really right in terms of education, where previously it's a lot more on mass production. Fashion retailers are really going to producing thousands of pieces just to reduce the price of one piece. So I think it's more on education, and like maybe every end of the season, retailers will slash down prices. So inventories, there are a lot of waste there. So I think the on-demand production is on the rise as we go digital, because fashion shows, everything are really transparent. Customers can we can see everything, the trends, like right as they run on the runway. It definitely goes to the customer. So this I think on demand is rising, but there has to be education where customer can see the value of these on-demand pieces, where there's less waste, less harmful to the environment, and then they can really value this kind of price that they pay for the pieces. So I think education, like you said, it has to be, education has to be there.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I think businesses are also, investing on this kind of strategy to, by leveraging on product data, like, data analytics on their website to see, what are the pieces that's selling so that they can produce more on that and then less on those that's not selling. So I think technology is also helping in terms of design production.
Yeah, I think I also gathered from my network that there's a lot more manufacturers that are willing to go for smaller quantities also. You know, not like last time, but hopefully it will still, continue so that one day it's more on demand, so there's less wastage, less landfill of clothing, and water clothing. So that's why I say is when people buy, the responsibility, what are they buying into? I think it's very important that
the price that you pay is no longer just the fabric price, but we also factor in, ethical people who sold their, reasonably paid. The whole chain is really healthy. So I think that's, there has to be education. So Julie, you can educate your students.
We are moving there. We are moving there. Yeah, but it will take some time. But I think it's more and more people are aware of this. It's just that we need to, consistently, promote,
awareness.
And create the awareness. Yes, correct.
The mentality of waiting for discounts and price slash should not be there. I think because like you said, it's on demand fashion, right?
Yeah, but I think this from the good of this pandemic, the good side of it is actually more and more going into this on demand. Actually,
correct.
I've read a lot from the newsletter and all those documents. It's moving, so there's something good coming out from that also.
Light at the end of this tunnel.
Yes.
The silver lining.
Correct.
All right, that's great. So when you touch on the pandemic, so like for example, in this pandemic, we see drastic change in a lot of businesses, right? The hawkers no longer survive through walk-in, they have to go for delivery. So what about fashion businesses? So what is the most drastic changes in fashion business during this pandemic?
I think the most apparent one would be shops are closed. People cannot try on clothes in shops, and then it actually accelerate digitalization. I think fashion brands who have been thinking of going digital, which sometimes like tidak apa don't want to go digital due to maybe high cost. So for when this pandemic hits, everything is accelerated. Everyone wants to go online overnight. So I think that's the most drastic change that we can see. Stores are also closed because people are not visiting anymore. And also in terms of, I think maybe in terms of customer, people are more intentional in their purchase. They want to buy pieces that they can wear not only one season, but also across season. And then maybe essential wears, they want to buy pieces which they can wear at home while working from home. And also they can also wear going out. So I think, these are some of the drastic changes that we can see.
I think for our side, the way that you showcase the work also changes. Like last time you have fashion shows, now every top brand, going into augmented reality, and then you go into like video shooting, So I think that's good also, you kind of like what Helen said is like you accelerate everything. I think it was there, but it wasn't like picked up. Because everybody is so used to the normal ways, like old normal ways, going all this, So now it's like, with a click of your handphone or your this laptop, you can see a lot of things, and people are now more, willing to like buy online, comparable to maybe before. People like a bit skeptical. They have to see and touch the product first before they buy. But now it's like totally different, So in another way, your business will grow. It's like grow to a different country, or it's more wide scope now instead of you just have a retail shop. So I think again there's some positive side coming from there. It's just more challenging because you have to like quickly change, adapt. I think that's the challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this pandemic happened for a very good reason. So for those people who can never change, started to see things change. So
Yeah.
so in all these things that you guys are doing, what is the biggest challenges that you face?
For me, right, now that we are moving towards digitalization more than ever, like what Julie said, customers would sometimes previously who are skeptical to buy, they want to feel and touch and see how does the pieces, look on different body types. I think that's still one of the challenges that we face as we sell online. So, stores are, it's hard for customers to really visualize how would the specific item make them feel or look. So we are still finding ways, like maybe we do more styling videos on different body types, or on how the clothes would look and feel, more movement of the clothes online. And then, people are also looking into, AI, virtual, they call it virtual fitting room, I think. So that's one of the challenges that we're facing. And, I think technology is also helping in a way. And so I think that's it.
Yeah. Challenges, education, very challenging. I think for us it's like, like fashion is a very it's an on-hand thing, it's a lot of practical work, so teaching online, doing design and production is a total different ball game, so I think the most challenges is like for us as a lecturer is like we have to quickly adapt to using technologies, and also like my staff was like doing video, suddenly you learn about Google Meet, Zoom, it kind of like I remember like June, like we only have like 2 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
true.
2 weeks to adapt to the change, that was like really challenging, but I think we did quite well in a way, surprisingly. I mean, we are being pushed into e-learning a little bit more now, and then we are finding ways how to do teaching practical things online, so I think it's just adapting to change. I think the challenges will always be there, and anything changes, if we will need to adapt as quickly as possible and change. So we must be always ever ready, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that you have overcome those challenges with a lot of ideas, right? So how many of these challenges that you overcome, that you actually tested on, you have actually run on, like how do you overcome these challenges? All these challenges is quite heavy in a sense that like Julie said, we have only 2 weeks to adapt to that online teaching, right? So how do you actually overcome all these challenges?
I think first of all, is the teamwork. Really grateful that we have a strong team behind. Like everybody is chipping in. I think another thing is like, I think most of us, not because of the pandemic, but most of us are curious. We like to learn things. So I think with some of our staff, like they're younger, they are much more tech savvy, they kind of like pick up things and then they share, So I think one of the areas we have the team and the correct mindset, like to move it off. Of course, it's stressful, but is to get it done effectively, But I can still see that there is room for improvement, right? But I think it wasn't that when we have this pandemic, it was like everybody was so stressful, like, what is the outcome, will we get quality output from our students? But surprisingly, when we do design, we find that actually the students are actually much more well engaged, and they can actually produce designs that are very good, and then like we using Google Slides and things like that. So the Google Slide becomes our sketchbook. So the students actually, post everything on top, and then because we have Google Meet, so, we meet all the time, with technology, and then also, with WhatsApp, all those things. So we are, in a way, much more engaged, so that it was surprised, but the outcome was good. The outcome was above my expectation, actually. Yeah. So I think we kind of overcome that challenges. I'm surprised, but that means our training is there. The students can use software, digitalized software, and they can actually do it. I think we are on the right track. Yeah.
Okay, so what about Helen? Because your business is running through pandemics, you have no time to stop. So how do you overcome these challenges?
Oh, pandemic, when pandemic struck, right, when MCO was announced, it was like truly the darkest point of our business journey, because we have never experienced this kind of, experience before. So basically, maybe for one day we were depressed and we don't know what to do. But the next minute we quickly, communicate with our team members, and then we applied for the essential businesses which can operate, because we are e-commerce. We don't have any contact with customers. So we got approved to run probably 2 weeks after MCO was announced. So we are really relieved. But another problem was our stocks cannot come in because borders were closed, so we had nothing to sell. So we had to keep the revenue coming in. So every day we were brainstorming on what should we do, what are the strategies that we should do to keep the business running, So basically that was like literally the most tense period of our business journey. But at that time we just kept going and going and going, and we did a lot of marketing efforts lah. We collaborate with a lot of brands which do not have any online presence at that time. So we collaborate with them, and they can capitalize on our customer base. Like for example, maybe we did a good example was we collaborated with Ogawa. They do not sell online, because they sell those Habo by Ogawa. Ogawa is a massage chair, right? And then Habo was their, beauty machine. They sell all these machines. So we bundle with their products to bring in things that people are staying at home, but they can still enjoy at home. Something like self-care, self-love. So basically we created a new trend. We pivoted from just selling clothes to, creating self-love products, which, people can enjoy at home. So basically I think it's more to quick thinking, and as well as adapting to change, like what Julie said, adapting to all these changes where we have not we did not even thought about it at that time before pandemic hits. So basically it has to be be resilient and be really adaptive to all these changes that is hitting us. So I'm glad that we hope that there's no second wave.
Same here. Yeah, I think the some of the students are those like second year students, they are eager to come back, So yeah, hopefully there's no second wave.
Yeah. So maybe, but I think that it's good also that all these preparations are done, so that we can also look forward that what if there is second wave, what should we do? But so it's good that we should also keep ourselves prepared as well. I think.
Yeah. From the experience,
basically it's the new normal.
Yeah. From the first experience, we will be much more well prepared for the second one.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So like all this pandemic, the thing I think from this conversation, the thing that actually helped us to get through is technology. right?
Yes.
So now people are well versed that technology is important no matter what you are doing. So technology is no longer stop at your devices or your computers or the application that you use. So what is the convergence of technology and arts important in fashion business? Because we have seen like you have talks about AI, virtual reality, augmented reality, you know. So is it important in fashion business?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's very important. I say, let's say, for example, a graduates, or students, if they want to get more exposure, with technology, like internet and certain social platform, you know, you can actually how to say, promote yourself, even further than that, and not just like through certain agency or what, you can be out there, with all this thing, and also with the technology, I think is there. It's just that we haven't really looked into it. Like now it's like technology like sustainable. You're talking about using certain software to do your what we call the toiling stage, the sampling stage, or doing pattern making. You can actually cut down it, simplify it, or the thing is how to say, cut short the time. So actually with the technology, um, it does give more room for exploration. And also with the technology, like you have 3D, this digital printing, you can actually do a lot more things, and it doesn't have to come with big volume also. So in arts and fashion, you can print your own fabrics. You know, you want 5 meters, you can print them out. Like you can collect them in like 4 days. With technology, you can do a lot of things. So I think for fashion is very relevant, and it's something that people want, and they can do, like you say, on demand. You can do things, printing for yourself. There's there's a massive room for creativity. So I think it is very relevant. Yeah.
Okay, Helen.
Yeah, I truly agree what Julie said in terms of technology playing a big role in fashion, in terms of fashion production. And then, of course, in running a fashion business, it's more important than ever. It's like the whole fashion business is relying on technology, because especially social media, smart devices, people are constantly staring on the mobile device 24 hours a day. Trends are popping. Customers are feed 24 hours a day with the trends that are running. All these truly influences the buying behavior. And also retailers, with the use of data analytics, we can actually gauge what fashion sells better, and then we can also better monitor the fashion production as well. So of course there are also more advanced technologies such as AI, virtual fitting room, and then all these truly I think technology plays a big part in every businesses, not only fashion. So I think it cannot be separated.
Yeah, I think during the pandemic, I've seen some spectacles shops owners who scramble to get their application up online by
Yeah.
letting customers to actually test on their spectacles instead of physically going to the shop. So I think for fashion as well, right? Like I've seen uh, application that is created to let people try out dresses in front
Yeah.
of the cameras, augmented reality. So the world, I mean, whatever things that we have said that the world changes in 20 years, that AI is going to take over lots of jobs and so on. And with this pandemic, things is happened very quickly, and instead of 20 years, it happened in a few months' time, right? You see AI started to come in, started to invade a lots of industry. So with this the world actually has changed over time. So how do you see or expect the way fashion business will evolve in the future? Will there still be physical shops or boutiques that people would still go and feel the fabric, or people would entirely believe in what they see? Yeah, maybe we can start with Helen.
If you look through times, the Great Depression, the World War II, definitely changed fashion. And this time, the COVID pandemic, I'm sure definitely fashion will change after this, but we're still in this pandemic. So I believe, fashion designers, everyone are still absorbing this change, and they are still, creating a movement, designing the next piece. I think they are still feeling the impact of this pandemic. So, but that's change will definitely be there. But in terms of how, we only have to look and see. I think.
Yeah.
So, but moving in line with the digital age, like you mentioned, I think definitely we can see that stores will not be very popular, but I think there are still retailers who will still open stores, because they are also, there's still customers who still want to feel the pieces that they want to wear. So I think maybe it will be more to omni-channel. Yeah, I think that's my point of view.
Yeah, I agree with Helen. I think like Zara, they don't do fashion show, but they do online selling as well. So they still have a physical stores, like for people to just, look at the clothes, feel it and try it. But then you don't need to exactly buy it there, but you can actually, in your own comfort home, in your own free time, you can slowly scroll and then, buy what you want. So I think very hard to say that, like Helen mentioned, it's very hard to say that everything like, totally, there's no retail, I think there will still have some businesses that that kind of like a showroom for me, it's like for people just to see the product, and then you go
then
back
buy
and
online.
and you buy online. So I think it will still be there, just don't know how long, but I think at this moment it is still going to be there. I think, yeah.
All right, so very interesting insight of fashion business. So now we are coming towards the end. So so for the audience out there, so if you have any questions, you can type into to the comment. Right. So what is your best advice to the audience out there who are interested in becoming the next successful fashion designer or fashion entrepreneurs? Right,
Going
Julie?
to me first.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think it's learning as much as possible. Don't stop learning. I think it's now we're talking about lifelong learning. Even me, I'm still learning. Technology. I was thinking of taking up another course. I think learning is very important, and I think to be successful designers, especially fashion, I think you have to consolidate different types or more skills. I think it's very important. Last time when we studied diploma, we just learn how to design, cut, and make. That's all we learn in our time. But now look at the program. We are teaching our students so many things. You had to learn Photoshop, AI. Next time we were actually moving into videoing, right? Jumei, I told you about the video work. So it's like I think it's very important to consolidate as much skills as possible, because it does help, especially like pandemic time. If you have the skills to make your own patterns of sew, you can actually do things on your own also. So on the that actually helps a lot also, instead of you depending on someone to do it. Like Helen said, you cannot get the material or the product from another country. But if nearby we have this, people or skill sets of people, or the supply chain here is easier, because you can straight away you can get it. You see, so I think for me is consolidate as much skills, learn as much as possible, never stop learning. I think it will get you there. Yeah.
Yeah, Helen.
To me, of course, number one has to be really passionate in what we are doing. Especially, when times like this hit, you can still have the drive to keep you moving. So I think that's number one for me, I think. So then next, we have to know what's our strength and our weakness. So you can actually capitalize on your own strength, and then you find a partner or a team who can complement your weakness. So you don't have to waste so much time on, when I think that, everyone has a skill set that's meant to be your destiny. I think you cannot be doing things that you know that you will never be better than your partner. So you just let it go, and let that person who's better than you to handle that side of the business. And then next, it would be looking at this journey as a real journey instead of a destination. As you need to, like what Julie said, learn as much as you can, get as much experience as you can. And then, because I think that, definition of success may change as time goes by. During young, maybe we feel that, okay, I want to be really rich. But then as times go by, maybe you want to find peace with what you do. And then maybe next you will want to, success means be fulfillment, contentment in your life. So don't be so hard on yourself, I think. And I think that, just believe that everything happens for a reason.
Okay, so lastly, what is your best inspiring quote for the audience?
Helen?
For me at this time, it would be everything happens for a reason, especially in these pandemic times. When times are not too good right now, right? So trust that, there's a silver lining in this, and, keep on believing there's the good that will come.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, I think for me it's to be more patient. We have to be patient and never give up. Yeah, I think patient, really, we need a lot of patience. Yeah, so for mine is be patient and never give up. We can do it.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you for your evening. So now the Q&A is open. So we have one question that comes in on Facebook. Say, what do you think about the fashion trend in Malaysia?
Who wants to go for this one? Ellen, you want to go first?
For me, I feel in Malaysia, it's more to, we are still looking to what's trending. Social media plays a very important role. Like, we are still on the lookout of what's trending, what's the who, the people that's important in fashion, the so-called fashion icons in social media is wearing. So I think a lot of the trends here are, looking into that direction, so-called inspired by all these social fashion icons. So yeah, I think that's still the trend in Malaysia, I think.
Yes, that's true. I think for me it's more like, I think there are people who, really individual, they are very eccentric, they wear the clothes themselves. I think at the end of the day, it's the preferences. I think Malaysian, I like comfortable clothing, that's why, but I think there are also because it's so hot, right? The climate is so hot, right? You want to wear like very nice jacket and things like that. There are certain places you can wear only, but not like, usual like what you see in Paris, all the, what fashion week or things like that.
Comfortable thin
Yeah,
fabrics.
I think partly it's because of a climate, And then I think that there are, it's just that we hope the with the future, like the designer, the young designers now, I think they are moving there. They actually, there are quite a lot of them that they do produce very trendy clothing. They are very creative. I think that there are. It's just that maybe the exposure is not a lot there. But there are very talented designers. It's so, we hope that, there is a platform with this pandemic that we can move this, and then we will have fashion trend, our own fashion trend in Malaysia, instead of just always following what, the Europeans or those fashion capital doing. I think there is, it's just you need to go and find, yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. Because I've seen lots of your students, especially Julie. You have seen many generations of students who graduated, and who, I think, I've also seen like some of your students' work who are very individualistic. Who are very unique. Some of them. I remember some of them plays with lots of colors, variety of fabric,
Yes.
and all these things. So
Yes.
do you think one of the thing is that, do you think fabric also play the knowledge of different fabrics and the trend of fabrics plays an important role to all these fashion
Yeah,
designers?
it is important. It's just that how to get hold of it. It's again come back to supply chain again. So I think one of the areas is we need to have like a platform or a direction or a channel for designers to actually source for all these things. Of course, there are trade shows that you can always attend to actually look for all those things. However, during this pandemic time, trade shows is not happening. Either it's been postponed or cancelled. But previously, we will always plan to take our students, to all those trade shows, so they are exposed to all these suppliers. So then they can actually go and see what are the textiles, what are the new technology out there, that can produce the different types of fabrics. I think we have this how to say not to say collaboration, but we are in the loop with the Taiwan this textile ministry, not ministry, they are like a NGO. So they do a lot of high tech fabrics, and so we will have like exchange ideas, like what is happening, what are the new products, what kind of new textile is out there. And then like our industrial partners like FIG, they do a lot of Nike products, so their material are all different. Their technology, they don't actually sew, they use laminate, the seams up, so the machines, they're all part under mechanical technology. So there's another separate set from that. So with, if we are in how to say, collaborate, or in touch with all these industry players, we will have more knowledge, and then we will have access to all these materials, and we will know what is in, what is, not just go to a fabric store and then just see what is there, but actually you know that there are much more different types of products out there, or textiles or fabrics out there. Like now we are talking about eco-friendly. We're talking about all those like sustainable, organic fabrics, things like that. So these are the channel. So I think from education, if you study, you will know about all these things, but maybe not so accessible to normal, audiences or normal people, but if you are in the field, you will know all these things. Yeah. So it's
Now,
important.
what about Helen?
I think for us, it's more to because we are running a business, right? We have to strike a balance between, designing what we want and knowing what customer would want. So for us, it's more to predicting what the customer wants. That's where we do a lot of data collection and then surveys with our customers on what they want to wear. So for us, it would be more, more, how to say, be more practical to producing pieces which we know that it would be really sellable or it would be better accepted by our customers. So to us, it's not purely about designing based on the creativity. It's more on striking a balance between what we think that it would fare better with our customers.
Yeah, I think I agree because you're in a different sector in business side.
Yeah.
Our side we will be, with
more
many
education.
Yeah, more to education.
Experimenting.
Also, yeah, with different partners also. So the things that they do will be very much like we have students in doing, like sportswear. So the materials are all different also. So it's good to know. Yeah.
I agree that as a fashion student you should cover all areas. You should learn all the the tricks and trades of the fashion production. But when you already establish a niche, you know that this will definitely not sell with your customers. We don't really go into producing those pieces, I think. So it's more to knowing your niche, knowing what your customers want, and then striking a balance between designing those pieces.
Okay, so we have one more questions in from Mary. So in fashion line, do you meet a lot of difficult people? How do you handle them, such as handling models? I think both customers and your models. Who wants to go first? Maybe Helen.
Yeah.
I think not only in fashion line, in all the businesses that we do, there will be so-called challenging customers, I think. But of course, customer is always right? So I think the way that we have to really educate the customers. Like for example, sometimes there can be small defects. When you sell lace pieces, there can be loose threads. But some people, they cannot accept this kind of defect. Then how this dress will be go into waste already. So I think it's more to educating the customers. And I think there will definitely be difficult customers or in every businesses. That's how education comes into play. We have to that's where customer service comes to educate these kind of customers. How are you, Julie?
Difficult such as handling models. So far, we don't have this problem. Actually, they're quite nice. I don't know. Maybe it's like a rumor thing that models are a little bit more hard to handle. But people in our industry, I don't think so. I think it's just being professional. In our line, if let's say we are how to say, appointing models from agency, they are very professional. So it's more about work, working professionally. So so far we don't have much problems with models. Yeah, but customer, I agree with Helen. I think customer is much more difficult, right? You have to really, you really need to know how to attend.
You have to be patient, take a deep breath,
and
then start explaining.
Yeah. Fashion line, I think is okay in the industrial player, because it's very niche industry. So everybody knows everybody. So you don't want to have a bad reputation. So what people are expecting from you is to work professionally. I think that's for the industry.
Okay, thank you so much. So any more questions? Can we take the last questions? Anyone else? So just now, Julie, you were mentioning about printer, right? That you can actually print your own fabric. So is there lots of designers who actually very particular with their design on the fabric, like print the print design or the patterns on the fabric?
You mean from the designer themselves?
Yeah,
Are they very fussy? I think all designers are fussy. Yeah, because I think designer, when they design a product, right, it represents them. It's their brand, it's their identity. So of course they want the best. I mean, their expectation is high. They want the best of their quality because they're customers. So I think it's normal that the designers are always expecting higher things. Even like printing, of course, is important. If not, like Helen say, when you goes to the customer, customer will, upset, things like that. So I think it's natural for a designer to be very particular about their products. Yeah. So for the printing side, it's normal, except maybe sometimes defects will occur is because of the fabrics and the printing dye. There's some difficulties, because the fabric cannot absorb the ink or something like that. Then they have to change. So I think it boils down to what the designer want, and their expectation. Yeah. So
Okay, so we have one question from Stephanie. Does being in this industry makes you particularly self-conscious on how you look every day?
I think naturally, right? When we love fashion, we will want to wear nice clothes. So I think we don't think it's more to self-conscious. It's more to having fun in what we do by dressing up, putting on makeups, being fashionable. I think that's what we like to do. So I think yes.
Yeah.
To me, yes.
I think it's in our DNA, right? When we are young, right? We love to use our parents' lipsticks, and then we like to wear their heels. I think it's in our DNA, for girls to actually want to look good, So I think it's also for me, it's like if you look at Japan, it's actually looking good is actually respecting other people. It's culture that also. So if you look good, you feel good. You feel confident. Your confidence levels boost up. You look good, you feel good. Every day. What? That's why we want to buy lingerie, right? Nice lingerie inside. Nobody see us. We're the only one who see it, right? But why there are so many nice lingerie out there, right? It's because when you wear them, you feel so. Could be sexy. You feel you look good. That's where.
Agree.
Yeah. So it's not about self-conscious.
Not to be superficial, but we cannot deny that by putting on a good piece of clothing, it truly boosts our confidence. Like maybe you are nervous about next day you have a meeting with someone very important. So by putting on nice makeup and a nice dress or a nice suit will definitely boost up our confidence. So I think it's more to empowering ourselves. Right?
Yeah. It's true. I think it becomes like our habits already. It's like every day. It's like, okay, what do I want to wear? It represents our mood also of that day. How do we feel that day? So it's kind of like expressing ourselves also. So
agree.
Okay, thank you. So I think that is the last question that we have. So again, thank you so much for your time, for the both of you. To be with us tonight. So and also thank you to all of you watching our live webinar on Facebook. So we'll see you again on another week. Next one we will feature furniture design and interior design. So thank you. Good night to all of you. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you, Joy. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.